All right, been a long time since I actually did any work, so to speak. Kinda, in a way. I guess that's not true. Working on a hood for a 2006 Chevy van here. Paint was peeling, so I stripped her down. I used an 8-inch. I'll show you. Used my electric deal there. My electric grinder, I use that for polishing, just a matter of switching pads. So I got my soft pad on there, just threw a 40 grit on there. Ran over it quick to try and take basically the paint and not gouge up the metal too bad. And filled a few little dings. This is a work vehicle, this is not a restoration, so we're not, we're not getting too carried away, but in that I stripped it, I thought I'd take care of a few obvious things. Show you the vehicle out here. But it's on. So it's this guy here. You can see the typical good old peeling from the back of the day, and the was all rotted out across the lip there. So had the glass, thanks to Crystal Glass for coming out here. They removed it right here, so that made it easy. Cleaned it up, sprayed the roof, and if you notice the name on the side of this truck, I will say if anybody needs any eavesdrop work done in the Edmonton area, he is definitely the guy for it. Had the garage done here down this side here. I don't know if you can tell, but what a beautiful job. The guy definitely takes some serious pride. Anyways, I just I'm not an eavesdrop guy, but I thought I'd definitely give credit where credit is due. So anyways, so I'm working on his van. He saw I had a shop here and asked me if I could take care of a little bit of rust repair. So the big one is windshield was leaking, so got that fixed up, and then now we're just gonna, the hood's easy enough to take off, work on it. So stripped it with 80, then I polished it up nice with ran over it with the DA with a quick 80 grit, and then 120, and then same with the minor body work here. Finish that up, got it finished up real nice in 180 grit. I like to finish fine because I don't like seeing sand scratches later on down the road. And if you get guys telling you that you can prime over 80 grit, well, that's good for them, because I can tell you that it is going to show up later on down the road. But that's for a different argument. So here's the stuff: direct to metal, high build primer. There's lots of different products out there. You can use a etch primer first and then a high build. This is kind of a 2-in-1. That's why I like using it, and I've had good luck with it. So that's what I'm sticking with. So I'm just gonna pop this in here in the holder. So I'll get some primer mixed up. So you have to give me a couple minutes. Gonna be some dead air time here for a couple minutes. So I'll get this primed, then it can sit overnight, and then maybe tomorrow night after work, the regular day job, I can sand it out and paint it, because this gentleman needs his vehicle back for next week, so hopefully have this all wrapped up before him on the weekend. But for those of you who watched a couple other my short other videos, was recently down across the border into the US there. Was at the drag races in Spokane the last weekend there. Not this past one, but the one before. It was the West Coast Grudge racing going on. I've never been to that one before, and I will say it was well worth it. It's crazy how fast cars are going these days, the amount of power they're getting out of them. It's just yeah, it's unbelievable almost. But anyways, yeah, if those of you that are watching haven't seen it, maybe not the best videos, just a couple. One was from the Friday night, just when they're doing kind of some time trial stuff, and then I videoed a little bit more on the Saturday, but couldn't video at all. I was too interested in watching. But I do have some more videos from there. I might post a couple more yet, but anyways, yeah, back to this. So I'm gonna go mix up the primer. The primer I'm using is just a regular 4-to-1 mix, and I throw in a splash of reducer. You don't have to, but I just give it a little splash. Sometimes guys will reduce on their last coat just to maybe get the primer to lay down a little nicer. Everyone's got their own kind of recipe or their own system or what they like to do, but I just want to get this thing coated and let it sit overnight so I can get it sanded and painted. I'll be back in probably 2 minutes, so grab a drink or a sandwich or whatever you need. Okay, here's the gun I'm using. It's just it was fairly inexpensive, Mastercraft from Canadian Tire, 1.4 tip. It's actually got some fine adjustments on the air, a little extra right here. I can gate it back. I actually don't mind it for primer. It works pretty good. I've actually tried painting with it, and it actually sprays nice. So sometimes you don't have to. Nothing against expensive guns. I do have more expensive guns for painting and things like that, but sometimes you don't have to spend huge money on paint guns to get a decent product. But I would never tell you not to buy a quality gun either. But just I thought I'd throw that out there. Well, here we go. Gonna throw some primer on this hood. Not too critical for what I'm doing here, but for those that want details, it's 75 degrees in here on the old meter there. So we're in the 20s in Celsius. 21 Celsius is 70 Fahrenheit. So just for those that care to know or don't care to know. Anyways, I got about 40 psi going to the gun here, and so that's here we go. Okay. I'll let that flash off. So I try and spray my primer how I'd spray my paint. Those that are wondering, I start basically the way I was going across the hood. Let's pretend the top of this fender. I start on one edge, you know, of the hood, pretending this fender is the hood, and how I went across and then came back. You know, the old way, some guys would start in the center and work their way out, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I just I always try and keep that wet edge going. That's the reason for it. So it's just like this roof on this car. When I painted this roof, I started here, went like this, reached over halfway, and then the other half down, and that way you're starting and you're always carrying on your wet edge, and that's how I do it. But anyways, I'm not going to keep going on about the priming of that, but I haven't videoed much in a while. Oh, I was going to ask, looking at the analytics or whatever you want to call it, the details of my channel, looks like the majority of my subscribers, probably to the tune of 75-80%, are American or from the US anyways. So I was curious, for those that do watch the channel once in a while, I'm really curious to know where in the US you are from. So if you if you wouldn't mind throwing in the comments, I'm really curious. I've traveled the US a little bit myself back in the day, when I worked on a horizontal directional drilling rig. But yeah, I met a lot of good folk down there. But anyways, I was just curious, where are you from? So if you wouldn't mind letting me know, I'd appreciate it. Till next time, that is it. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment.